This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
New at 11, what does it mean to be car-free in Indianapolis? Could you ditch your vehicle and rely on public transportation?
More importantly, what would that mean for your wallet? Well, today was Indy's 4th annual Car-Free Day, when residents are challenged to leave their cars at home.
RTV6's Cameron Riddle is working for you, exploring the different options that could help you go car-free for good.
In Indianapolis, mass transit is a top priority. Here on Virginia Avenue, you could easily hop off of a Red Line bus, jump into a Blue Indy car, or even onto one of the Pacers bike share bikes. But which option is the fastest, the cheapest, or the most expensive? Tonight, we crunch those numbers to show you how much it would cost to ditch the car. Getting across a city as large as Indianapolis can be tough without a car. And with the number of transit options increasing, commuters are trying new ways to get around, including the Red Line.
For me personally, we live at 57th and College, so it's very convenient, and I work downtown, so there's a convenience there, and there's Wi-Fi on the Red Line, so it's nice to sit and be able to get some work done, not be frustrated in traffic.
While the Red Line is gaining its fans, it's not Indy's only transit option, and may not even be an option depending on where you live. A trip from just outside Marion County to downtown Indy is about 13 miles. Driving a medium-sized sedan and making 5 round trips a week, that would cost you about $79 with gas prices where they are now. That number includes the cost of insurance, maintenance, and everything that goes into owning a car. Renting a Blue Indy car for that same commute would cost you $90 a week. And while that price doesn't seem too much different up front, commuters we talk to are weighing both options.
So I would pay for the car because I can go anywhere I want, or I would go with the Blue Indy because it's not much more expensive, but no insurance and all that.
If convenience is what you're looking for, then you might catch a ride in an Uber or Lyft. That same commute, 5 days a week, would cost you $200 from both ride shares. The cheapest option is using one of the city's many bike lanes to get from A to B. Using your own bike is free, of course, once you buy it, but riding a bike for 13 miles creates a 90-minute commute in each direction, a pace that might be okay with those who use the Pacers bike share. Its total cost for that same week would be $27. Indigo spokesperson Lauren Day says finding mobility options for commuters in that so-called last mile of their journey is the next stop in giving everyone options.
Increasing those mobility options, looking at where do you place bike share, car share, for instance, but also where are we investing in the transit service? We're looking at the densities of population, the densities of employment, places for education, access to healthcare, access to fresh food.
Working for you in Indianapolis, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Well, you can find a tool to calculate the cost of your commute in this story at theindychannel.com. Another benefit of going car-free is the impact it has on the environment. In about 10 minutes, we'll show you the demonstrations taking place today around the world and here in Indianapolis, urging leaders to do more to protect the environment.
Another reminder to heed all safety warnings if you use an electric scooter to get around town. An Indianapolis woman has filed a federal lawsuit after she said she was thrown off a scooter. Paula Spears suffered a traumatic brain injury and can no longer read or drive after falling off a Lime scooter back in June. She was sharing the scooter with friends and not wearing a helmet when Paula says she was thrown forward and onto the pavement. Paula and her husband filed a federal lawsuit on September 19th against Lime's operator and manufacturer, Neutron Holdings, Ninebot, and Segway. They allege the scooters are defective because they're unstable and the accelerator sticks.
I hit the road, my head hit the road when I was thrown out of the off of the scooter. So, and that was the only thing that hit was my head, and that injury caused the traumatic brain injury has been the biggest issue.
The company says while they cannot comment on active litigation, the safety of their riders and community is their highest priority. The Lime user agreement also says users should wear helmets at all times. However, Paula did not see the agreement because she was sharing with a friend.
Another warm night in central Indiana. I want to give you a live look outside at downtown Indy. Now let's get right to Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mounts with your evening forecast. Hey, Kyle.
Yeah, another warm one out there today. We almost made it to 90 degrees, so summer is holding on and not going out without a fight here. Officially, we'll get into fall on Monday. Right now, it is a warm 74 degrees. We've got that southwest wind between 5 and 10 miles per hour. And around central Indiana, many locations still holding on to the 70s. You have slid back into the upper 60s in Greensburg and 66 right now in Crawfordsville. Storm Team 6 radar nice and quiet as it has been for most of the area this evening. Not expecting any additional rain. So if you are going to be heading out and taking part in the Heart Walk and 5K run at IUPUI in the morning, mild temperatures and clear skies to get you started.
Thanks, Kyle. RTV6 and Muncie residents who are sick of being late are waiting to learn from a transportation company why trains keep stopping and backing up traffic at busy intersections. It's happening on streets like McGalliard, Tillotson, Batavia, and White River Boulevard in Muncie. Residents we talked to say the trains sometimes stop for 2 hours at a time. In some cases, emergency vehicles have been delayed trying to find other routes around the traffic.
It's a huge disturbance for people trying to get to work, people trying to do different things throughout their daily life. But for us, it could be life or death.
RTV6 learned Norfolk Southern Railways operates the trains blocking the busiest streets. The company has not yet responded to our questions, but the city says it is looking into writing tickets for the stopped trains. If you notice an issue impacting safety in your area and need help getting answers, get in touch with us at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
The city of Indianapolis will be giving a man more than $1 million 5 years after he was involved in a fight with 2 off-duty IMPD officers. A federal jury decided this week that the city's policies caused the officers to use force in this altercation with Bradford Bohannon. The officers were found not guilty in a criminal trial, so Bohannon filed a lawsuit in federal court. He has been awarded more than $1.2 million. Neither officer involved in this case is currently with IMPD. Both were recommended for termination, but one of the men retired first.
Meanwhile, a current IMPD officer has been suspended and charged with theft and misconduct. Investigators say Lieutenant George Crooks took a gold coin from the IMPD property room last August. The coin was forfeited during an investigation, according to court documents. A property room supervisor says Crooks left a $20 bill in place of the coin. Crooks has been suspended without pay, and Chief Brian Roach has recommended his termination. Negotiations continue as we wrap up day 5 of the United Auto Workers strike against General Motors. Workers have been on strike all week at plants across the country. In Kokomo, businesses have been offering deals to UAW members who are off the job until the strike is resolved. Local 292 is collecting donations of physical items, but put out this reminder on Facebook today. They say no one has been authorized to collect money for them because the International Union has specific rules when it comes to distributing funds to striking members.
And a different kind of strike had millions of people out in the streets demanding change today. What Indy schools have to say about students leaving class for the global climate strike.
It's easier to see right now on one North Side neighborhood after redline construction knocked out street lights on College Avenue between 38th and 42nd Streets by cutting an underground cable. It's a story we've been following for more than 2 weeks and one of the many ways RTV6 is working for you. Tonight, some Indianapolis neighbors want to know why they've been left in the dark. The street lights have been out along College Avenue.
Horribly dark. I can't see anywhere where I'm going when I get home.
IPL tells me there's still a lot of redline post-construction work crews have to do. Their team is meeting with redline contractors to develop next steps to repair the cables underground.
People who live in a North Side neighborhood along College Avenue have been waiting for the light at the end of the tunnel. But the tunnel seems endless and they're fed up with waiting. So they are taking it upon themselves to light up their dark city blocks. The Neighborhood Association delivered more than 500 small solar-powered garden lights to residents in that neighborhood. It's their quick fix to light the area and address safety concerns concerns until the overhead street lights are fixed.
Chris Carlos is among the numerous downtown residents fed up with the sidewalk they can't walk on.
And I stepped out, and the bus came, and he beeped his horn, and I had to jump back with my dog because the bus was going to hit us. And then that's what really prompted me to get a hold of RTV6. It's at least June, no activity, nothing until I called you folks.
In downtown Indianapolis, we spotted crews working on the sidewalk at Market and Capitol today, just 2 days after people in that area told RTV6 they had not seen anyone working on the construction project for months.
I'd like to say thank you very much, Channel 6, for everything you've done. We greatly appreciate it.
The only name you need to know.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Around the world, across the U.S., and right here in Indianapolis, millions of people participated in demonstrations urging those in power to take action against climate change. Their ultimate goal is to send a message to world leaders ahead of the United Nations Climate Summit happening this week in New York City. That's where 16-year-old Greta Thunberg is today. She's the activist many credit for inspiring this movement, and many of the protesters who say they're fighting for their future. Among their demands, phasing out fossil fuels, replacing them with renewable energy by the year 2030. Dozens of students and adults joined a climate strike rally at the Indiana State House this afternoon. Organizers say attending demonstrations like this one are one of the ways that individuals can make a difference for the environment.
We talk a lot about, reduce, reuse, recycle, but stuff like this is really important too. We want the message to be in the hands of the people most affected by climate change, so we want folks out in the streets demanding these types of actions and holding our politicians accountable to a climate transition that is just for everyone.
Like the protests taking place around the world, many in the Indianapolis area, demonstrators were students. In New York City and school districts in other parts of the country, students had their absences excused when they left school to strike. We asked IPS if students who left school for the strike would face a penalty. IPS says that's determined by school principals on a case-by-case basis, and the district encourages students to participate in civic engagement.
A man is under arrest tonight for allegedly driving his SUV into and through a suburban Chicago mall. The scary scene was caught on video here. People ran as police say he drove through an entrance and into the main part of the mall. Shoppers managed to get the 22-year-old driver out of the vehicle and detain him until police could get there. Thankfully, no one was hit by the SUV. Only one person was hurt, but they're going to be okay. Police have not said why the man did it. The mall was evacuated and shut down for the investigation.
All right. Amazing video to see there. You don't see that every day at all. Kyle's here now with a look at our forecast.
One.
It has been a little on the toasty side. Today was our 12th day in a row where we've topped 80 degrees, and we got a couple more in the forecast here as we go into the weekend. So don't put away the shorts, and hopefully the pool isn't closed near you just yet. We've got 74 degrees on the thermometer right now in downtown, upper 60s in Kokomo, and you're still sitting mild in the middle 70s in Bloomington with partly cloudy skies. 67 will be the overnight temperature. I think our weather stays very quiet here as we go through the next 24 hours or so. TrueCast starts off our Saturday morning with a mix of sun and clouds. So with that sunshine, temperatures will again warm pretty quickly. You notice rain back into Illinois. That is where it will stay for the first half of the weekend. Just an increase in clouds as we go into our Saturday evening. There are the increasing temperatures. A little more breezy tomorrow as well. Southwest winds between about 10 and 15 miles per hour. Temperatures that will make their way into the middle and upper 80s. Still a little humid, so it'll feel a degree or two warmer than that 87 in Indy for the high, 86 in Lafayette, and 86 degrees for you in Richmond. All right, second half of the weekend, got a big game. The home opener there for the Colts. Tailgating looking nice there. 10 a.m. temperature at 75. We'll quickly get into the 80s. It'll be even a little more breezy here on Sunday, and as we get into the evening, that's where we've got that chance for a few showers and thunderstorms, and already there is a marginal risk for Sunday evening across much of central Indiana that some of those storms could have gusty winds with them. So this is TrueCast. We fast forward now to 7:30 on your Sunday evening. So much of the daylight hours here all weekend long are going to be dry for your outdoor activities. Then we start to see that line of showers and thunderstorms by 10 o'clock Sunday evening. So it's kind of got its work cut out for it. It will be a little slow to move through the area, at least initially. And that's a good thing as far as the timing. It should start to weaken a little bit as it moves through. And then pretty early on Monday morning, those showers pushing off to the east. We do need some rain. We already have some drought conditions across portions of central Indiana. And you can see that we've got rainfall on the order of about a half to an inch of wet weather is what we're going to be expecting here as we go through Sunday evening into Monday morning. 7-day planning forecast shows the other part of this tale here will go from showers and thunderstorms to some cooler temperatures. Monday, our high 76 and actually some very crisp mornings coming our way. Tuesday and Wednesday, we will start off in the 50s. We'll keep those highs in the 70s much of next week, but yeah, the 80s, they sneak back in there by the end of the 7-day forecast.
But crisp mornings means fall jacket mornings.
Yeah, I'm going to start to need those layers a little bit more and more.
Still warm for summer.
Depends how many layers you already got on here. That's true.
Not those layers.
That's fine. Hey,
warm for some football tonight.
it was. It's still kind of a very summer night out there. Hope, fingers crossed maybe for roof open on the Colts on Sunday, too, if that timing
good
works.
timing.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Some great games around the area, though, here as we're in the middle of the season. A couple of upsets. Number 1's going down. Overtime. We got it all for you coming up.
Drive at Honda of Fishers.
From RTV6, this is Friday Football Frenzy.
All right, we're going to start off with the top-ranked team in Class 5A. New Palestine home against Pendleton Heights in red uniforms. Final play of the first half. Charlie Spiegel finds the end zone. He's done that a lot. Dragons up 14-6 at the break. And they crank it up in the third. 4 touchdowns in the quarter. This one, Lincoln Roth to Maxon Hook. Short pass turns into a 47-yard score. Roth threw a career-best 4 TDs tonight. Spiegel scored a couple more. 59th straight regular season win for the Dragons. They play at Greenfield next week. And a good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on week number 5. I am Brad Brown. Dave First is on the road. He'll check in with us in just a few minutes. It doesn't feel like fall just yet, but the games are getting bigger as we get closer toward October, especially for the number 1 ranked teams in Indiana. Let's start in Mooresville. We were there at 6 o'clock tonight. Homecoming for the Pioneers. They're number 1 in 4A. Mike Gillen done an amazing job in his time. They're taking on Decatur Central, his alma mater. Mooresville gets the first score. Brecken Green, the junior running back, spins off that defender at the goal line, right up the middle for the TD, and the 7-0 lead. A big play score later in the first half. Collegia Perry airs it out. Braden Evans is there, and then he's gone. 69-yard touchdown. He'd have to catch his breath after that one. Kid went right back out and played defense after that. Mooresville had the halftime lead. They led 21-7 going to the 4th. Then Decatur scores 17 straight points. Javon Tracy going the other way. Shakes the defender, dives in for the go-ahead touchdown. Hawks up by 3. 6 seconds left. Mooresville with a 36-yard field goal to tie it. But Jordan Miles for the DC defense gets the big paw up on it, slaps it down, and a win on the road. Decatur takes it 24-21. Second straight year they've beaten a 4-0 Mooresville team.
We didn't panic when we were down 21-7 at the end of in the fourth quarter. Our kids are resilient. They came back and fought back, so I'm proud of them for that. Mooresville played a great game. They deserved to win. I thought we played a little bit better at the end of the game, but they're a heck of a football team. Hats off to them.
Let's get a look at the rest of the number 1s. Avon will stay on top of 6A with a big one at home. We showed you New Pal and Mooresville. In 3A, West Lafayette wins again. They're now 5-0. Ron Colley handing Cecina its first loss of the season. First win for the Rebels. And in 1A, Lutheran stays unbeaten with a win over Cascade. One of the great stories through this first month of the season has been down at Franklin. It's a 4-0 start for the Grizzly Cubs. 1996 was the last time they did that. Keep in mind, Franklin had won just 4 games in the last 3 seasons combined. Quite the turnaround. And they kept it going tonight at Martinsville. Big test on the road. Great start for Franklin on the punt return. Jake Houston, kid's a freshman, runs it back to the 25-yard line. That would set up an early score for the Grizzly Cubs. Drew Byerly fakes the handoff, and then watch him roll out. And he's going up top, up and over. Drops it in, not a pretty landing, but counts for 6. Byerly doing it all over the field tonight. Ran for a couple, threw for a couple. This one going to Isaiah Klein. Nice little pitch and catch over the middle to score. And then the combo going to go big a little later. This was all in the opening quarter. Look at this. Watch him stick the defender at the 2 and in. Franklin's for real. 62-39. A wild game down there. The Cubs home against Mooresville next week. That should be another good one. Let's go to the Mick. Carmel hosting Lawrence North. Under 90 seconds. Wildcats down by 7. They get the score they need. Donovan McCulley to Omar Cooper. And he's in. PAT squared the game at 17. This one goes to overtime. Ellen kicked a field goal. Carmel gets a chance to win it. They get it done. Sophomore QB Zach Osborne calls his own number on the read option. From 8 yards out, he's in. Carmel gets it done again. They're now 3-0 in the Mick with a 23-20 win. Final stop at Plainfield. Quakers hosting Greenwood. Woodman down 2 scores at halftime. Step up to open the third, though. Pass to the end zone. Intercepted. Tanner Allen coming up with that one. Greenwood would eventually get within 7, but Plainfield able to control the game on the ground. Jarrett Steven runs one up the middle for the first down. They had a lot more of that as the night went on. Plainfield comes away with the 38-28 win. They're now 4-1. They play at Decatur Central next week. Good stuff all over the area. IndyCar's final race weekend of 2019. A trio of rookies led the pack in Friday's early practice session. Colton Herta was the fastest of the group. Don't be surprised if these new guys are in the mix for the checkered flag on Sunday as well. Day first with Herta tonight. More from Laguna Seca.
They are some of the most iconic images in all the United States. The Central Coast of California, Pebble Beach to be exact. Some 2 million visitors a year to this area. Stop, take pictures, and maybe work in a round or 2 of golf. Count a few more visitors thanks to the fact that IndyCar is back in Laguna Seca, located just 20 minutes to the east of Pebble Beach. First time back in some 15 years, and where Californian Colton Herta can wrap up the Rookie of the Year award. He trails Felix Rosenquist by just 49 points. So technically, mathematically, in theory, still alive for the Rookie of the Year. What do you have to do to get that?
It's actually really realistic. If I win, he has to finish 6th, Felix.
That's doable.
It's very doable. Yeah. It helps with the double points that we have for this weekend. Obviously, though, it's a big ask. Obviously, to win in this championship, it takes a lot. We've had the pace lately, so hopefully we can do it. Also, fastest yesterday, fastest this morning. Yeah. So if we could just keep this trend up, try and qualify on the pole, it's going to be tough to pass here. So if you can kind of get off, get a good start, you can usually keep the lead.
Couple poles, the win this year. Big picture, no matter what happens this weekend, are you happy with 2019?
I think so, yeah. Obviously, we really want to end on a high note because you go into a long off season of 5 months of dwelling on the last race. A lot to think about. Right? Yeah, exactly. If you go out and finish 15th and have an average race, you're going to think about that for the next 5 months. So, yeah, obviously, this is one of the more important races to end on a high note, so you're very encouraged and focused going into next year.
Valencia, California's Colton Herta knows a thing or two about Laguna Seca. His dad, Brian Herta, won on back-to-back years here, 1998 and 1999. Sunday, they're hoping it's like father, like son. At Laguna Seca, day first, RTV6 Sports.
Tough assignment.
Too far north to be Central Coast.
Yep,
so we're going
too far north.
All right, it's still on the coast. It looks really good out there.
It's still California.
California, exactly.
Still looks very comfortable. Very nice.
We'll be right back.
Jetta S for just $159 a month.
If you're looking for some family fun for the next 2 weekends, the world's largest bounce house is in town. You can find it at Waterman's Family Farm in Indianapolis now through Sunday. Then it reopens again next Friday through Sunday. It's way more than a bounce house. There's also a 900-foot obstacle course.
And there's a panda.
If I show up without kids, is that weird?
There's also a separate space-themed play place. How cool.
How much is it?
Tickets run $16 to $30. It depends on how old you are, though, I guess. So it's going to be a little more expensive probably for us.
Right, exactly.
I say team bonding.
I think I'm
trip.
the oldest one at the table. Kyle, take a look at the weather.
All right, well, some nice weather for bouncing around this weekend. We got mostly sunny skies, 87 for you on Saturday, 86 on Sunday. Not going to be until the evening that we get those showers and storms in here, and then fall arrives Monday. So do the cooler temperatures. Highs are back in the 70s.
If we do it, we need to schedule a massage for the next day. Because I feel like that's just making you super sore.
Aggressive.
I got this planned out, guys.
Good night, everybody.